Tonight we're going to speak English. This is the first film that is being presented by a guest of our retrospective, and I'm very happy that it is a friend of some 50 years, Stig Björkman, who's a Swedish film critic first, who was the editor of an outstanding film magazine in Sweden in the 60s, 70s, and then a film director and also a film interviewer. He has made several books and films of interviews, documentary films or interview books with several directors and even writers, as his most recent film, which is an interview with Joyce Carol Oates. And so I'm very pleased to introduce him. He will introduce himself, the film that you're going to see.
Grazie tanto. Sì, sono molto grato e felice di essere qui e parlo italiano così, ma ho preparato qualche cosa in inglese. So, during his time as a film director at work for the UFA studios in Germany in the 1930s, Douglas Sirk, or Detlef Sierck, which was his original name, made two films with a Swedish actress and singer, Sara Leander. Tonight's film, the neuen Ufern and La Habanera. They are, in true sense of the word, melodramas, which, according to the dictionary, is a dramatic composition in which music is used. They are films where the story involves dramatic reversals of fortune combined with a high level of emotional expressivity, and they are principally catering to a female audience. They were also a most suitable issue for the Swedish actress who previously had mainly been known for her career as a singer. Talent scouts at Germany's mighty UFA studios first heard of Sara Leander when she played in a musical in Vienna in 1936, and her performance got international attention. She had earlier made a couple of film roles in her native Sweden, a couple of comedies, which also allowed her to perform a song or two. Undeterred by Sara Leander's modest screen experience, the Nazi regime's film authorities at this time spared no expense to convince her to come to Berlin. The head of the Reich Film Chamber traveled personally to Vienna to begin contract negotiations. The contract that emerged promised Sara Leander the astonishing sum of 200,000 Reichsmarks for 3 movies to be made over the coming 12 months. By comparison, the average annual income of a German working man was less than 2,000 Reichsmarks. The Germans even agreed to the extraordinary demand that UFA pay most of the salary in Swedish crowns. What can account for this extraordinary commitment of resources on an unknown foreign actress? Consider the state of the German film industry at the time. Foreign anti-Nazi boycotts and a decline in exports caused by the Depression choked the German film industry in 1936. Joseph Goebbels, the Minister for Propaganda, responded by essentially nationalizing German cinema, using a trust company to acquire controlling shares in the key studios and consolidating the industry into fewer and fewer hands. But Goebbels knew that domestic reforms only could not solve the industry's economic problems, nor appease his own political ambitions. An easy access to a large export market was also essential. With this goal in mind, Goebbels' Reich Film Chamber had already begun creating a new pan-European institution, the International Film Chamber. First proposed at a grand conference in Berlin in 1935, this body streamlined exchanges among Europe's film industries so as to forge something like a single European market for film. Only this, it was believed, would enable Europe's film industries to resist the pressures of the Hollywood studios. Douglas Sirk, who had a background in theater, was at this time considered to be a coming man in the German film industry. He had already directed a couple of films, and his two most recent ones, Das Hofkonzert and Schlussakkord, had been quite successful. He was now put to direct the two films for this new UFA star. So, what is there to say about the neuen Ufern, known outside Germany as Two New Shores? It's a story of love and sacrifice, a Two Handkerchiefs film. The story is set in the mid-19th century, and it starts in London on a theatre stage where a popular singer, Gloria Vane, is performing. She can enjoy the admiration from a vast and enthusiastic audience, but more personally and privately, so from an admirer, a nobleman and military officer, Sir Albert. Sir Albert is maybe not as noble a character as Gloria and we might imagine. Not only has he economical troubles, he steals to pay his debts. So our noble-minded heroine takes the blame, is sentenced to 7 years of prison and sent to Australia to atone for her crime. Shortly after, Sir Albert is down yonder. He has been appointed high post in this new country, and in no time he has found a new love interest, a young woman from a both more prominent and more wealthy family. These constellations allowed Sirk to draw a picture of the more bigoted and bourgeois qualities in the society, and not least in the military world, with our decadent officer and nobility orders. All this was quite right for UFA and the governing party, as the story was about British society members. Sarah Leander here plays the role of the suffering woman, almost an archetype in melodramas of this kind. She abides to the rules of the prison and bides her time. And during work, she also gets time to entertain her prison companions and us with a song or two. Kitsch is a German word which signifies excessive garishness or sentimentality, which, like here, can be appreciated in an ironic or even knowing way. Gloria might be a victim, but her interpreter was in no way a sufferer for circumstances or anything else. It seems that during the continuing story, Sirk and Sarah might have formed a pact in which their joint motto could have been, "Give them their money's worth of sentimentality." Zu neuen Ufern is a true melodrama, a genre which Sirk will refine during his time in Hollywood. But you can already here see his most sophisticated organizing of people and situation, which is going to be his trademark in films to come. Already early in the film and during Gloria's first song number, Yes Sir, Sirk is tempting us with his floating camera movements. He is not any longer a film director in the making, but a true metteur en scène. So Neuen Ufern impressed both the audience and the critics. In Berliner Tageblatt you could read in September 1937, "This is a work of great resonance. You get totally taken by the melody in the images and finally by the organ-like tone of an extraordinary voice. Thanks to Detlef Sierck's direction, one gets strangely captivated by the fairly uninteresting story. And from a beautiful formed voice, that of Sarah Leander, sounds a voice, a vox humana, you won't easily forget. Her voice is unnaturally dark, almost a baritone, but with a wonderful vibrato, excluding any kind of comparison with Dietrich or Garbo. Even if the song is about the rain or about a great yearning or some other sweetness, it is, if it's being performed on the stage or behind the gloom in the prison, its clang is totally captivating." Leander's star potential with the non-German audiences was tested at the film festival in Venice in 1937, where Zu neuen Ufern was presented. Its reception proved that the massive investment in Leander all were panned by critics and audience, but one. Only Zu neuen Ufern was endorsed, a Nazi official reported to Goebbels on account of the popularity of Sarah Leander. Sarah Leander stayed in Germany and continued to make films there until 1942, a fact which was not only noticed in her native country, it also opened for opinions of quite critical kind. Her homecoming was not greeted with enthusiasm, on the contrary. She was more or less frozen out, not only from the film scene or the entertainment scene. She was regarded as paria. With a few exceptions, most notably by one of Sweden's most famous and popular entertainers, Karl Gerhard, a known and strong opponent to Hitler. It took a little over 6 years before It took a little over 6 years before Sarah Leander was welcome to perform again in Sweden. Her comeback could be described as triumphal. Sarah Leander herself conceded in her memoirs that Zu neuen Ufern could be characterized as an embarrassing weepy, even if it wasn't all that bad. Her memoirs wore the proud and challenging title, "Do you want to see a star?" Leander was a challenger and a defier to the bitter, or rather to the happy. Thank you.